We have reached round 2 of the playoffs. Fresh sheet for YD facing the Orleans Firebirds for the East Division title. Perri, Kitei, and Luke West Poley alongside. As always, Luke, YD had to battle yesterday against Brewster. It was an interesting one. They were no hit through 5 innings, and then 5 2/3 innings, maybe. And then somehow the score was tied 3-3 because of all the free passes that Brewster gave away. And finally, deadlocked through the 8th, Theo Hardy comes up huge go-ahead home run, and that ended up being the game-winning run. And here we are now with reinvigorated fire for the Red Sox, who started off at home against Orleans. These teams faced at the end of the regular season, and it was a lopsided victory for the Firebirds in the fight for the East Division title, which YD eventually won on the last day. But what can we expect from the rematch today?
I think the Red Sox are going to want, hopefully, better stuff out of their starting pitching. You remember last time it was an opener that started the game for the Red Sox and Braden Montgomery, and things didn't really go like YD wanted them to, but they've got Jason Doktorczyk on the mound. Pitching depth is always tested in playoffs here during summer ball. And Jason Doktorczyk, look for him to have a big start for YD and hopefully carry his team to a strong kickoff to this series here in Game 1. As it goes along, it'll be interesting to see who YD gives the ball to, not only out of the bullpen, but in their starting rotation as well. But Jason Doktorczyk, a guy that has certainly been good in starting roles this season for the Red Sox.
Jason Doktorczyk is also a guy that can go a long way. Previously, he would come in long relief before making his way into that starting pitching rotation. This is Doktorzyk's 3rd start, the first of the postseason. In his very first start, he threw an immaculate inning in the 1st inning. That was the best possible start you could have to a game. He's been locked in all day preparing for this. But speaking with the YD bullpen earlier, that starting rotation is completely up in the air, and Coach Pickler said it could go any of 3 ways for tomorrow. Maybe Ryan Delgado, maybe Gavin Bruni. You never know. It all depends on how things go out of the bullpen today. Everything up in the air, and with playoff schedule like this, Game 3 yesterday, no days off, your bullpen becomes more limited, and you have to just work with what you've got.
Yeah, and it's a big Orleans advantage. Cannot understate that enough, that not only did they have the off day yesterday, but they only had to play 2 games because of it in their opening series. And so Firebirds pitching a little bit fresher. They're coming off a little more rest, and they've got a few more arms that are yet to be utilized in this postseason that we expect to see here today for the first time in the 2nd round.
YD pitching did nicely to limit the arms out of the bullpen yesterday. Landon Beidelshees came in to close it all out at the end. Jackson Kent started out. Doktorczyk ready for the first pitch against Joe Oyama, and it's popped up a mile high towards short. Theo Hardy underneath it. It's actually Ryan Jackson over there at short. That's muscle memory, but Jackson makes the grab for out number 1. With that, we'll go around the infield. It's Hardy at 3rd. Xander Darby, the normal 3rd baseman, is at 1st. Middle infield is Jackson at short and Brady Day at 2nd. Around the outfield, Casey Cook in left, Skylar King in center, and Braden Montgomery in right, with Ryan Stafford behind the plate. This is Justin Rubin out of UVA, but transferring to Pepperdine. And he takes the first pitch strike. Doktorczyk, the righty out of Nevada. That just went through Stafford's glove.
I checked it after that. Thought it might have had a rip in it, but caught him on the snow cone.
One and one to Rubin. The pitch sweeps in there. Cold ball too. Wow, that looked like a beautifully painted pitch, but Doktorczyk does not get the call. Really nice breaking movement on that. Looked like it was headed towards Rubin and then came in across the plate. The kick pitch. Check swing. didn't go around, called ball 3. 2 of them that are really close to the zone there. Doktorczyk readies for the 3-1. It's crushed out towards left field, sprinting in on it. Casey Cook diving, makes the grab and the roll to finish it off. 2 gone now for the Red Sox. Rubin got every piece of that. Looked like it might drop in, but Cook all over it from the jump.
Yeah, good reaction, and that ball really looked like it was going to be a single. Casey Cook, though, with a good beat on it. He did not get the start yesterday, but came in later, and his defensive abilities have been shown here in the playoffs so far.
First pitch on the way to Jack Penny. Penny has been one of the best guys for Orleans all year and has continued that in the postseason. Batted .429 through those first 2 games. That was 3 for 7 with 3 walks. An on-base percentage of about .600. The 1-0 flown foul. The pull side shift is on with 3 Red Sox to the right side of the bag at second. Brady Day out in shallow right field, and Hardy pulled over from third in on the corner, protecting against that bunt. Now he backs up. The 1-1 is just off the plate for ball 2. Jack Penny out of Notre Dame from Wakefield, Massachusetts. Cranks it up the middle towards center. It drops in front of King. First base hit of the day for Orleans, and none other than the guy who's been doing it all season long. Jack Penny has been that guy at the plate for Orleans, especially since Joe Oyama has cooled off quite a bit since the end of the regular season. One aboard for the Firebirds with 2 gone in the top of the first. Matt Halbach. First pitch sweeper in there for strike 1. Quick look over towards Penny. And there's that pickoff. Close but no cigar. Penny back in there with a hand underneath. Here comes the 0-1, swing and a miss for strike 2. 0-2 now to Halbach. Plays at UCSD San Diego, a native of Los Gatos, California. Was a first-team All-Big West selection out there in 2023. He's been here since the beginning for Orleans. Seems like for Orleans, their lineup has been there for quite a while. Most of their field position players. Called strike 3, comes in on the outer half. Jason Doktorczyk deals through 1, allows 1 base hit, but can't bring it across. Scoreless, heading to the bottom half of the first on the Cape League Broadcast Network. Bottom of the first, a nice one from Doc Torzik in the first half, and it's Skylar King coming up to the plate. He's been one of the most exciting guys to watch for YD. Was a very late season addition from West Virginia University and has settled in comfortably to this lead-off spot. He's been a bunt single machine. He's made for some electric plays in the infield. First pitch on the way now. Skied foul from Evan Truitt. Truitt out of Charleston Southern going into his junior year. It's his first season of summer ball, and he made it here to the Cape. Next pitch on the way, strike at the top of the zone. And King's down 0-2. King's bunt single yesterday broke the no-hit bid from Brewster. The 0-2 chopped foul, and we'll do it again. Puts it on the ground towards short. Penny, couple of side steps, the swing over in time. And King is retired on 4 pitches. Jack Penny has been an absolute wall at short this season. Now brings up YD's shortstop, Ryan Jackson. He's been a big contact guy.
Coach Pickler moving him up in the order up to the 2-hole. Normally see him near the bottom, but playing up top today.
He takes strike 1. He's 2 for 8 in the postseason in those first 3 games. The kick and deal from Truitt just misses high inside. It's 1-1. First ball dealt by Evan Truitt. In 6 total pitches, the deep breath into the wind. And ball 2 misses just inside. That call is consistent with what we saw in the top half from Doc Torzik. Looks like this strike zone is going to be a small one today. As Jackson flares it foul, and it's tied at 2-2. Two bounced up towards first, scooped by Hallback, and he'll take it himself for the 3 unassisted put out. 2 gone quickly for the Red Sox. Brings up Braden Montgomery.
Number 15, Braden
2 for 13 in the postseason with 1 home run and 1 walk, 6 strikeouts. Yesterday was a strikeout heavy day for Montgomery at the plate. First pitch on the way. Taken on that inside corner for strike 1. This one's crushed out towards right field, but Jake Casey doesn't even have to move on it. Straight on a line out to right, and YD goes 1-2-3 in the bottom half of the first. Moving quickly on to the second. You're watching YD Baseball on the Cape League Broadcast Network. Eddie Micheletti leads off for the Firebirds in the top of the second. It's getting foggy out here over Red Wilson. We haven't seen fog in a while. It has been a very dry stretch over the past number of weeks to close out this season, but today is an overcast one, a little bit of rain earlier, as Doc Torzik deals the first pitch strike on the bottom of the zone.
Yeah, field conditions are great, though, coming into this one, despite the little bit of rain that we had. Field looks great.
Here comes the 0-1. Pumped foul by Micheletti, straight back, and it's 0-2. Eddie Micheletti, one of the most fun names in baseball. And ball one misses just outside. Doc Torzik fires. Again outside, Micheletti moves the shoulders but doesn't go for the chase. Eddie Micheletti Jr. out of George Washington, but recently announced he's transferring to Virginia Tech. 2-2 on the way. And the count is full. Had an unreal season at the plate for George Washington, batted .384. .460 on base percentage. The payoff, high and away, ball 4. So Eddie Micheletti works the walk after going down 0-2. Doc Torzik deals 4 straight balls. And the infield is in for Eddie King. Back-to-back Eddies in the Orleans lineup, as it has been for quite some time now in Kelly Nicholson's book. Eddie King hasn't had the best start to the postseason. He was 1 for 6 in those first 2 games, but small sample size. He takes a first pitch ball. Doc Torzik checks on Micheletti at first. Second base runner of the day, first free pass for Orleans. Here comes the 1-0. Check swing did not go around, ball 2. King batted .255 in the regular season for Orleans, as Doc Torzik paints the zone for strike 1.
Ended the season hitting the ball pretty well. Orleans in general was just pretty hot headed into the final couple weeks, as remember they took over that division lead for just one night before YD retook it on the final day.
The 2-1 swings away at the last second to prevent the called strike, but flared foul. Same count regardless. 2-2 now with that pull side shift on again. 3 to the left side of second. The outfield playing straight up. There is absolutely nobody between first and second, as Darby is covering the runner on first. Wiggling back and forth. The 2-2. Popped up, foul territory, out of play. And we'll do it again. King played 39 games in the regular season out of 44 total. There's just a few on the team that played more. Micheletti, one of them, played 41 games for the Firebirds. Joe Oyama up there at 39. Jack Penny, the shortstop, 42. And this is the very first game that YD does not see Fenwick Trimble in the starting lineup, a guy who played 40 games the regular season. Doc Torzik really taking his time here to keep track of that pitch clock. And ball 3 is away. Another full count, same thing as Micheletti. We'll see how this one ends. Payoff. Inside, ball 4. 2 full count walks in a row now from Jacek Torzik. Have runners on first and second for Brandon Stallman.
Number 8, Brandon Stallman.
Stallman batted .296 through his 16 regular season games. Stafford takes a quick word. Crowd continues to file in here at Red Wilson. Yesterday was probably the busiest day of the year. First pitch on the way to Brandon Stallman, misses just outside. First time either team's had a runner in scoring position as the sword swings across on strike 1. Stallman out of UNC Charlotte. Played summer ball last season with YD's Wynn Scott. 2 of them were exchanging some pleasantries before the game today. The 1-1 just bumped foul at the last second. It's 1-2. Stallman started off at State Fair Community College and then transferred into North Carolina Charlotte. Bats left, throws right. Doc Torzik kicks and deals on the ground towards second. Jackson steps on the bag and throws in time to first. Micheletti advances to third, but a very important double play turned brings Doc Torzik a little bit closer to working himself out of this jam.
Yeah, Doc Torzik has been good at getting ground balls this season and figured that even with those free passes, he wasn't super wild. Orleans was earning their walks. If he could find the zone and get a ball down, that something like that might happen, and a nice turn by Jackson.
Henry Hunter, the catcher, at the plate with Micheletti on third. First pitch on the way, strike 1. Most of the time these teams have faced, it's been Owen Carpellotti behind the plate. Henry Hunter did get the start, however, in the last time these teams faced in the regular season. Goes down 0-2 on the big swing and miss. Chasing the breaking ball outside. Henry Hunter out of UAB, Alabama, Birmingham. The 0-2. Ball 1. Theo already started running off the field after that. But that outside of the plate, it's been consistent so far, but it is very, very tight on that left side in particular. 1-2 now to Hunter. He offers at it, pokes it foul towards the YD dugout. And it'll stay at 1-2 with 2 gone. Henry Hunter batted .200 through 22 games played for Orleans in the regular season. 12 hits and 60 at-bats. Another 1-2 on the way, on the ground. Day has it on the dive, but he has no play over at first. He was too far out there in shallow right field to get it in time. It's an RBI single for Henry Hunter.
tough one, a 2-out RBI from a ground ball, but that was well hit by Hunter, and even though he sort of hit that one towards the shifts, hit it enough where that could score the run, and he could beat it out over at first.
If Day was regularly placed instead of back in right field, that ball might have snuck past him regardless, but he would have had a better chance at the play at first. Because he was played so far out, the ball took so much longer to get to him out there. Jake Casey swings away at strike number 1. Hunter now on first. Michelotti scored. Orleans leads 1-0 here in the top of the second. The YD outfield is playing very deep. The 0-1 underneath it on the swing and miss. Strike 2. Casey readjusts his helmet as Doc Torzik resets from the stretch. The shoulder shrug and pitch. Outside again. Doc Torzik looking just out of the corner of his eye over at Hunter. The 1-2 popped up towards center field, going back. Skylar King into the gap in left center. Underneath it has the beat on it, and that's out number 3. Orleans gets one across on the RBI single from Henry Hunter. YD looking to strike back in the home half. That's where we're headed on the Cape League Broadcast Network. YD went quietly in the the bottom of the first. Now it's the second. Orleans leads 1-0 and Hunter Hines leads off. Hines was officially 0 for 1 in the series against Brewster as he wraps the first pitch foul because Brewster refused to pitch to him. He was intentionally walked 3 times. He didn't play that second game. Was put in to pinch hit in the 9th, but didn't even finish the at-bat because Skylar King was thrown out trying to steal home. A ball and a strike now to Hines in the DH spot for the day. The 1-1 skied towards foul territory. Penny sprinting over, but it gets out of play. And it's a ball and 2 strikes to the heavy-handed lefty out of Mississippi State. Was a first-team All-SEC selection at Mississippi State playing DH. Thanks in large part to his 22 home runs. The 1-2 misses outside. He has 13 home runs here in the Cape. That led the league in the regular season. The all-time record is 16. Could be chasing that if YD makes a run here. The 2-2. Cranked foul towards the dugout. I think that hit the wall, not a person. Ryan Stafford will follow him up. Pitch on the way, check swing, did not go across. Really nicely done from Hunter Hines. It is tough to stop your hands with that much momentum, but that barrel was inches away from crossing the plane. The count runs to 3-2. The payoff, swing and a miss, strike 3. Truitt got the chase on the sinker. And Hines is retired on strikes for out number 1. YD has gone in order so far, and that brings up Ryan Stafford. He's been all over the lineup in this postseason, even batted leadoff. Rare for a catcher, but a guy as athletic as Stafford, he's been playing in left field as well, can bat anywhere in the lineup. First pitch comes in high. Ryan Stafford out of Cal Poly, the lone player on this team from YD, who returned after playing for the collegiate national team and has been here since then. He was here before, came back after, counts 2-0. Truitt fires ball 3. YD still looking for their first base runner. Brady Day on deck. And strike 1 finds that outside half of the zone. 3-1 with 1 out now. And ball 4, high and away. Ryan Stafford, first base runner for YD, makes his way on down the line towards first base, and Brady Day will step up for his first time around in the lefty box.
Out of Kansas State, number 10, Brady Day.
Brady Day has been here since day 1. Batted .267 on 37 games played in the regular season as he takes ball 1 just inside. Stafford on first. We've seen YD be really aggressive in the base paths through the first 3 games of the postseason. And there he goes. Throw on the way in time. Really nicely done by Hunter behind the plate. Stafford had no chance at it. And YD's first base runner is tagged out stealing for out number 2. Base is empty now for Brady Day, 1-1. And Hunter can't frame it up on the ball inside. Day has 1 home run this season. That came on the day he was drafted by the Atlanta Braves. He declined to sign. Cranks this one out towards right field, back to the fence, and it's out of here. There he goes for home run number 2. Brady Day gets that run back, and we're tied up at 1.
Mistake pitch, and Day dealt with it accordingly. He's been limited, bouncing in and out of the lineup throughout these playoffs, but a YD Day 1 and a biggie to tie the game here early on.
There he goes. I'm talking about his home run numbers, and he bumps them up for me. That brings up Xander Darby. He has 3 home runs of his own, and he takes ball 1 inside. Truitt missed on the fastball. Day got every piece of it. Same spot as his first home run out in right field. Darby pushes this opposite field towards left. Micheletti on the run has it. And that is the inning. But Brady Day ties it up on the solo shot. And it's even at 1, heading to the top of the 3rd. You're watching YD Baseball on the Cape League Broadcast Network.
Next up, out of UC Irvine.
Back for the top of the 3rd, and we're all tied up at 1. It's been an RBI single from Henry Hunter and a solo home run from Brady Day. Ryan Stafford was on the base paths, but was thrown out stealing at 2nd. Could have been 2 for YD. Oyama shows bunt and pulls back as ball 1 flies in from Doc Torzik. Joe Oyama popped up the first pitch of the day and went down on it as it was caught at short by Ryan Jackson. The 1-0 flies into the zone. That backdoor break is unhittable from Doc Torzik. A ball and a strike. Now into his motion. Ball 2 misses just outside. Pull shift on for Joe Oyama. Theo Hardy in on the corner, protecting against the bunt. 3 to the right side of 2nd. Jackson, Day, and Darby. The kick and deal popped up, foul out of play, strike 2. Sounds like that hit a car. Two and 2 to Joe Oyama out of UC Irvine, teammate of Dub Gleed. The pitch, strike 3. Painted by Jason Doc Torzik. Slides in on the backdoor break, and Oyama goes down on strikes, rung up for the first out of the inning. Location can't be any better than that from Doc Torzik, and that brings up Justin Rubin, who flew out to left. A diving grab from Casey Cook his first time around. First pitch on the way, runs inside for ball 1. Strike 1, a fastball over the middle from Doc Torzik. Justin Rubin is from Bryn Mawr, Pennsylvania. Played 2 seasons at UVA as a Cavalier and is transferring to Pepperdine. The 1-1 from Doc Torzik, framed up nicely on the outside by Stafford. It's a ball and 2 strikes. Into the wind, the 1-2 runs in, pops out of the glove of Stafford, but nobody on base to take advantage of it. That break from Doktorzik is something else because that looked like it was headed straight between the 2 and the 3 on Ruben's back. Instead, it broke inside, still misses the plate. But the horizontal movement is something else. The 2-2, flown foul towards the right side. Ruben's older brother, Brian, played baseball at Vassar College and then professionally in Europe. I wonder what professional baseball is like over in Europe.
The Czech Extraliga? That's the one European baseball league I know of.
The 2-2 on the ground up the middle. Jackson charging in on it. Scoops, throws in time. Jackson let go of that immediately from almost a sidearm slot. Nicely done by the shortstop out of USC. And there's 2 gone in a row now in the top of the 3rd. Brings up Jack Penny. Started the day off with the first hit of the day for Orleans in the 1st. Penny out of Notre Dame has been a hitting machine this postseason. But he swings away and finds nothing but air on strike number 1. The 6-foot lefty. I think he's a switch hitter, but batting from the left side against the righty Doktorzik. The 1-1 on the way, swing and a miss, strike 2. Penny in the regular season batted .275 with 5 home runs. That's tied for the team lead on Orleans with Joe Oyama. Doktorzik fires, cranked out towards left, heading back towards the fence. Cook at the wall, and it goes off the wall. Penny on his way to second. Halfway through the easier half of the cycle now, Jack Penny has a single and a double. Looks like it might be headed out of here, but didn't quite have the height. And there's a runner in scoring position now for Matt Hallback.
Wow, that's some serious opposite field power. I don't know if we've ever seen one like that all season hit to the opposite field that has been that close to getting out in left center. That ball was smashed by Jack Penny, and the Red Sox lucky that that didn't have an extra foot of height on it.
Jack Penny now 5 for 9 in the postseason. And Hallback has intentionally walked to put that force back in play. So Eddie Micheletti Jr. now has 2 aboard with 2 gone.
Next up, out of Virginia Tech, number 24, Eddie Micheletti.
Is that the first time we've seen the Red Sox intentionally walk an opposing player all season?
I think it is. Pickler is an aggressive coach. He does not like to back down from challenges, but just a strategic move here with 2 outs. First pitch on the way to Micheletti. Just bumped foul, pops over the head of Stafford, and it's 0-1. Micheletti ended the second for YD on the run, catching a fly out in foul territory in the YD bullpen. Here comes the 0-1. Stafford pump fakes. Got me fooled on the pump fake. I thought he actually threw the ball, but it was still in his hand. 1-1 now as ball 1 flew in on the outside. Micheletti walked his first time up, went down 0-2, worked the 4 balls in a row. Ball 2 here misses low. Came around to score Orleans' only run. Orleans has been making Doktorzik work for it. He's at 61 pitches through 2 2/3. And Pablo Torres is warming up in the YD pen. Swing and a miss, strike 2. Doktorzik only focused on the batter right now, hasn't looked towards his lead runner. The shoulder shrug, kick, deal on the ground towards second. Day off a couple of bounces, retires the runner for out number 3. Orleans has 2 base runners, but Doktorzik with a nod heads back to the dugout through 3 innings of work, still tied at 1. YD coming back to the plate. They'll go 8-9-1 when we're back on the Cape League Broadcast Network.
Batting out of UNC Chapel Hill.
Casey Cook leads off the bottom of the 3rd for YD. Orleans got 2 on in the top of the 3rd, but couldn't bring any around to score. It's 1-1 still. Deadlocked in the early parts of this game. And Cook puts it up the middle. Looks like it might drop, and it does. Over the head of Penny. Casey Cook 1 pitch and a base hit.
Yeah, Truitt has shown more so than Brewster's starter yesterday in Ash Emerlin that he can throw strikes. Yesterday we saw a more patient approach from Red Sox bats, but not seeing that today. They're being a little more aggressive, swinging if they like a pitch, and Casey Cook knocking that single up the middle on the first offering of the inning.
And that brings up yesterday's hero, Theo Hardy, hit the go-ahead home run in the 8th inning to put YD on top and knock off the Whitecaps. It was his first home run of the season and could not have come at a bigger moment. He was absolutely fired up after that, as he should be. Pickoff coming in towards Cook. High and away from Halbach, and Cook does not even face a tag. Truitt reset, 1-0 to Theo Hardy. YD looking to flip the order for the first time. And Hardy ropes it through the 2-3 hole. Cook rounding second, heading for 3rd. And 2 hits in a row for YD to start things off. Runners on the corners. For Skylar King at the top of the order, Theo Hardy has been on fire and just will not stop. Sneaks it on the ground, hard hit between 1st and 2nd. And YD can do some damage here with nobody out.
So Orleans is going to play for the bunt here. They're going to bring in their 3rd baseman, Brandon Stallman. We saw yesterday Skylar King, with Brewster playing for that bunt, instead pull it up the first base line instead of going up towards 3rd. See if he gets the bunt sign here.
King has 5 bunt singles in not even as many games since arriving here on the Cape. but swings away here at the first pitch, strike one.
And when we saw him come up and lead off the game, he didn't squirt a bunt at all in that at-bat, which is very, very rare to see from him. Honestly, I don't even know if we've seen that at all from him this season. It seems like every at-bat, even when he's finished swinging, he's at least shown bunt one time.
Ball one away, Hunter on his feet looking at the base runners. 1-1 to King. We have also seen him swing away at the first pitch and then with one strike on, then go to the bunt. Stallman really pulled in here, a couple of feet in on the grass at that third base corner. 1-1, chopped on the ground up towards second. Oyama, the toss to first, but King beats it out down the line. Essentially does the same thing as a bunt, retired on a sacrifice hit. Hardy, or excuse me, not a sacrifice hit. Fielder's choice over to second, but Cook comes across and YD leads 2-1.
Yeah, with his kind of speed, he's going to beat out a ground ball to the middle infield unless it is 100% perfect and stay out of the double play, and a chance for more with the good contact part of your order coming up.
King on first, Jackson at the plate, strike one. Taken at shoulder level. 0-1 with one gone to Jackson, the shortstop out of Southern California. Braden Montgomery on deck. Ball one well away, King diving back on the back pick from Hunter. Hunter caught him leaning towards second, but King's speed will beat that back almost every time. King has settled into that leadoff spot and in many ways shares a lot of traits with RJ Austin. Jackson puts it up the middle towards short, but the overthrow from Jack Penny, and Stafford will take second on the ground rule. A rare mistake from the Notre Dame shortstop. And what should have been the inning-ending play instead, first error of the day for Orleans. And Ryan Jackson is safely aboard second.
Next up, out of Stanford, number 15, Braden Montgomery.
Hunter wants a word with Truitt. Kelly Nicholson coming out of the dugout. We were told pregame that Truitt might have a shorter day as Orleans, with the rested bullpen, might make this one an opener kind of day.
And Truitt's the type of guy where, I mean, he has just had a marathon since the beginning of his college season. Over 70 innings at Charleston Southern, then he came here through 30 innings, and you know, he's starting to reach the end point where he'll finally get a little bit of rest before the fall, but he's not going to be asked to go as deep as you would normally see from a starter just because of the number of innings that he has thrown since February.
Braden Montgomery, fresh count, runner in scoring position on second. YD with the 2-1 lead. And Montgomery's intentionally walked. We have seen so many intentional walks in this postseason league.
You know, some intentionally walking players is a little bit rarer, obviously, in summer ball because it's more developmental rather than playing to win. But then when that mindset kind of shifts here in the playoffs, like you said, you can clearly see teams are starting to play to win now, and it shows. But I don't know if you get in much of an easier spot here with Hunter Hines at the plate.
Montgomery and Hines back-to-back is a killer part of the order, but Montgomery has been more of a contact hitter kind of guy, so I understand the decision. Hines has been showing his own contact hitting as of late. Swings away there for strike one. Went down swinging his first time at the plate on a full count. Fooled by the sinker from Truitt. 0-1, it is filling up here again at Red Wilson. Packed crowd for the first game of the Eastern Division Finals. This ball one just inside. Stafford on deck with the shin guards on. Truitt checks the lead runner. Now the pitch. Swing and a miss again. Hines is just underneath it. Shakes one off, now set. And it's cranked towards Oyama in right field. He bobbles it. The throw to first is still on time, and that is the inning. Orleans gives YD a taste of their own medicine, putting Oyama out in shallow right field. Hines hits perfectly into the shift, and Orleans stops the YD rally. Red Sox put one up. It's 2-1, heading to the top of the fourth on the Cape League Broadcast Network.
Two-one Red Sox in the top of the fourth inning here from Red Wilson Field. Luke West, Poley, and Perri Kitei with you. Game one of the East Division Final in the Cape League playoffs. Eddie King leads off for Orleans. He was walked in his first plate appearance in the second. 6, 7, 8 hitters due up for the Firebirds, who stranded 2 in the last inning. They've had runners stranded in each of the first 3. As King takes the ball in from Jason Doktorczyk. Seen his pitch count climb up a little bit, but the YD bullpen is empty as of right now. 61 pitches now for Doktorczyk. Strike one on King, and it's 1-1. King 1 for 6 coming into this one in the postseason. Does have a run batted in. Floats that one foul, and it's 1-2. King got on base right before the walk-off was delivered for the Firebirds in Game 1 of their first-round series against the Harwich Mariners. They won it in 2 games. 1-2, popped up, right side, coming out into the outfield from second. Day called off by Montgomery, and he makes the two-handed catch for the first out of the inning.
Day and Montgomery were so close to running into each other out there. We've actually seen that from YD. RJ Austin was actually sent out of a game earlier in the season, hurt himself when there was a collision in the outfield. Communication has been a big focus point since then.
Brandon Stallman takes the ball outside. Red Sox did not have any errors in their 2 wins in the first round of the playoffs. They had 1 in the loss in the opener against the Brewster Whitecaps. Stallman takes a backdoor strike, 1-1. He grounded into a double play his last time up. Hit a ball right to Ryan Jackson at short, who is now shifted a little more aggressively on him. Jackson was on the left side of the second base bag against him last time, but now with the bases empty, the pull side shift in for the Red Sox with 3 on the right. Doktorzik pumps it by him for strike 2. Wind blowing back and forth here on a cloudy day from Cape Cod. Pretty crowded Red Wilson Field. Not quite as crowded as yesterday, but still a good crowd here for some playoff baseball. 1-2 to Stallman. Taken outside. Wind will help out the right-handed pull hitters as it's blowing out towards left field, but we saw in the last inning that these lefties can do it here too at Red Wilson as Jack Penny hit one off the top of the wall to the opposite field in left center. 2-2 cracked up the middle. It's gloved by Doktorzik. He'll run it over to the bag and underhand to Hardy for the second out of the inning.
Doktorzik made that look easy, and it absolutely was not. Stallman put some fire on that in the ground. You could see it from the smack against the leather, but Jason Doktorzik gets it done by himself. 2 gone.
Doktorzik's cleanest inning so far came in the first when he got through in 4 batters, but gave up a 2-out hit to Jack Penny. Henry Hunter swings and misses for strike 1 at the first pitch. Hunter got his first hit of the playoffs earlier in this game, an RBI single for the Firebirds in the second that brought in their 1 run. Swing and a miss for strike 2 on the back foot breaking ball from Doktorzik, and he's ahead. Pull side shift still in effect. 0-2 to Hunter, who has been platooning with Owen Carpellotti at the catcher position. Rolled over foul on the right side. They've been alternating between Hunter and Carpellotti back and forth game by game. Hunter only played in 1 game in the first round series. 0-2 cut on and missed, strike 3. Jason Doktorzik has 3 strikeouts, and he is through 4 innings, hanging his second straight 0. To the bottom of the 4th inning from Red Wilson Field, it's 2-1 Red Sox on the Cape League Broadcast Network.
Just didn't put quite enough juice on it. Oyama's one of the fastest guys here, getting to that one off a couple of bounces just before it snuck into the outfield.
Strike 1 on Brady Day, who is 1 for 1 with a homer. And fouls it back 0-2. No balls, 2 strikes to Brady. takes off the plate 1-2. That homer that he hit was a no-doubter, almost hit the house in right field. One-two is slammed foul on the left side.
When he connects, Day has been really good at finding the gaps in the outfield, especially towards the outer half of the season. The later half of the season, I should say. We were saying earlier, he hit his first home run the day he was drafted by the Atlanta Braves, declined to sign to go back to Kansas State for his junior year.
2-2 cut on and missed, strike 3. Second strikeout by Evan Truitt. 2 gone in the bottom of the 4th as the Red Sox look to avoid the 1-2-3 with Xander Darby coming up.
Number 12, Xander Darby.
Darby's had a bit of a rough go at it to begin the playoffs after a scorching hot end of the regular season. He's won for his first 12 here in the postseason. Foul tips the first pitch for strike 1. Does have a run batted in here in the playoffs. Truitt getting ready to throw pitch 57. Ball and a strike to Darby. Halfway ad for the Red Sox. Checks his swing on a strike 2 called. Darby has been in the lineup in all 3 previous postseason games for YD. And he hammers this one out towards right field. Casey going back at the wall. It's gone! Solo shot Xander Darby, and the Red Sox have insurance in the 4th. It's 3-1.
4th home run of the season for Xander Darby. You said it, Luke. He's been due for some hitting and got every piece of that one off Truitt. Nearly identical to Brady Day's. Neither of them even close to the fence.
So YD gets some air into this lead. 3-1 now the score with 2 away for Casey Cook. And 2 solo homers by back-to-back men in the order, Brady Day and Xander Darby. Cook fouled that one off his foot. Ball and a strike to Casey, who was 1 for 1. Jammed a bloop single into center in his first at-bat. But Perri, to be frank, in that first-round series, you know, the offense was fine. It was not the issue in that first game, but almost a little bit surprising that the Red Sox won those final 2 games, given that their offense didn't really deliver for them. They've come to play here in the first game of the second round.
It is very rare to win a game off 2 hits, and it was just simply due to the number of free passes Brewster gave up yesterday. YD still left 10 runners on base.
Cook hits it over to second. Oyama handles easily and makes the short throw to end the inning. But the Red Sox add on another with Xander Darby's first of the playoffs. A solo homer to right, and YD leads it by 2, headed to the 5th. Back in a moment, 3-1 Sox on the Cable League Broadcast Network. 3-1 Red Sox in the top of the 5th inning here from Red Wilson Field. Jason Doc Torzik back out onto the mound for YD, eating up some innings in the start. And faces off against the 9-1-2 hitters in the order after Orleans went down 1-2-3 in the last inning. Jake Casey takes the first pitch foul. YD has scored in each of the last 3 frames after a scoreless first. Most recent addition, a solo homer in the last half inning on 2 outs from Xander Darby, who collected his 2nd hit of the postseason and first deep fly. A hard power slider in for strike 2 from Doc Torzik that draws some oohs and ahs from the crowd. Swing and a miss. Doc Torzik's 0-2 dips underneath the bat of Jake Casey. And he's got his 4th strikeout, his 2nd time through the order as we flip it back to the top. 1 away in the 5th for Joe Oyama.
Out of UC Irvine, number 6, Joe Oyama.
Oyama is 0 for 2. Swung at the first pitch of his first at-bat and popped out to short. Last time up, struck out looking. First pitch strike dotted up by Doc Torzik, 0-1. Oh, 0-1 slider is pumped in the air, foul and out of play.
From the sounds of it, maybe a fan caught that one. Some cheers from the crowd.
Over towards the merch stand. Oh-2 just off the plate.
Oyama thought that was the day. He took a couple steps back towards the dugout. But as we've said all day, that left side of the plate has been probably the tightest zone we've seen here all year.
Doc Torzik's 1-2. Reached for, poked on the ground over towards second into the breadbasket of Day. Rushes it over to first and beats the speedy Oyama by a step for the 2nd out of the inning.
Disappointing for Doc Torzik that it wasn't called strike 3, because if it had been, he'd be 2/3 of the way towards his 2nd immaculate inning of the year. But doesn't get the call, gets the out anyways, which is more important. And it's 2 outs now for Justin Rubin.
Immaculate inning in the 1st inning of his first start of the summer. Doc Torzik, normally a starter at school, as a lot of these guys on Cape are. First pitch strike to Justin Rubin. He's 0 for 2. The designated hitter batting right in the 2-hole for Kelly Nicholson and the Orleans Firebirds. Trying to make their way back from a 3-1 deficit in the top of the 5th inning. Some stirring in the YD bullpen, but no throwing going on. It looks like some form drills being given out, but no warming up to be done right now as Jason Doc Torzik tries to carry his way through the middle part of this game. This ball hit well out towards left field. Cook, though, coming in on it towards the gap, and he has it in the glove for out number 3. 6 up, 6 down in the last 2 for Jason Doc Torzik. It remains 3-1 Red Sox. Headed to the bottom of the 5th. We're halfway through this one from Red Wilson Field. Stay tuned on the Cape League Broadcast Network. New pitcher taking the bump, Everett Catlett, the lefty in relief for the Firebirds, trailing by 2. 9-1-2-2 up in the YD order. Theo Hardy starts things off. Yesterday's hero is 1 for 1 today. Ripped a single up the right side. The switch hitter will bat right-handed for the first time today against the new pitcher in Catlett. Bunts is up as the pitch comes in on him. He takes for ball 1. Catlett, the Georgetown Hoya, making his second appearance of the season, the first coming in the regular season finale for the Firebirds. A wild 14-12 loss against the Chatham Anglers. He went 1 inning in that game, gave up 4 runs, 3 earned off 2 hits. Check swing grounder over toward short. Penny charging, up with it, sidearms to first, a low throw, but it's handled by Hallback for the first out of the inning.
Next up, out of West Virginia, number 22.
Catlett, a big frame on the mound.
King.
As we go back to the top of the order, Skylar King is 0 for 2 with an RBI fielder's choices last time. 6'7", 230 pounds, throwing from the left side. Senior out of Manassas, Virginia. Corners in on Skylar King. The bunt is up, and he takes ball 1. King, his last time, came up with runners on the corners and hit a ground ball to short that earned him an RBI, or second rather. There's a strike at the top of the zone, and it's 1-1. This is not Catlett's first stop of the summer. That was in the NECBL with the Mystic Schooners. Couple of YD guys from there. Strike 2 is taken by King. Was an NECBL All-Star at a microscopic .86 ERA. Across 8 appearances, 7 starts. 3-0 record for him as well, and a whip under 1. He was shut down in the New England League this summer. Swing and a miss on the 1-2. He brought that way in on Skylar King, and he can't connect. He falls to 0 for 3, and there's 2 outs in the bottom of the 5th.
King regretted that immediately, but it was just a nice pitch from Catlett at the top of the zone, was running in at the last second. King thought it would hang over the middle a little bit more than it did and went around, unfortunately for him, and that brings up Ryan Jackson.
Jackson takes the ball down. He is 0 for 2. Fielder's choice for him his last time. Off the end of the bat, pokes that one foul, and it's 1-1. 2 games going on in the Cape League tonight. Both division finals get going. Red Sox taking on Orleans in the East, and in the West, the Bourne Braves and the Hyannis Harbor Hawks lock horns beginning at the top of the hour. 1-1 is cut on and missed by Jackson, and it's 1-2. Winner of these 2 series will face off against each other in a best-of-3 for the Cape League Championship beginning in a few days. 1-2 is pushed down the right field line. That's a base hit. Jackson keeps the inning alive with a 2-out knock, and that will give Braden Montgomery a chance to hit. Intentionally walked his last time up. He'll get a chance to swing away after in the first inning he hit a ball pretty well to right, but it found a glove.
Ryan Jackson, nice opposite field action. Pushed it right up the line, on a line, over the head of Matt Halbach.
Montgomery crushes that one foul on the ground, and it's 0-1. First base runner Everett Catlett's had to deal with in this one. Final line on Evan Truitt, 4 innings, 4 hits, 3 runs, all earned, a walk and 2 strikeouts. Montgomery, the switch hitter, batting right, hits that out of play. 0-2 to Braden. And he spoils that one foul to stay alive. Red Sox trying to score for a 4th straight inning. Have not scored more than 1 run in an inning yet in this one, but they lead by a pair.
That's been somewhat of a theme throughout these playoffs, is scoring 1 run in consecutive innings. They did it for 5 innings in a row in game 1 against Brewster, even though Brewster knocked him out of the park. Eventually, they got 2 across in 1 inning. Same thing as yesterday. They got 2 across in 1 inning to tie the game in the 4th.
1-2 taken high and away. Could probably credit that in part at least due to the fact that in the playoffs, teams are clearly pressing a little more to try and get 1 run. The small ball, the bunting, the stealing bases, just trying to get something in every inning. 2-2 is cut on and missed, strike 3, and that ends the inning. So coming out of the bullpen, Everett Catlett throws 1 scoreless for the first time since the 1st. 3-1 score. Red Sox in front as we head to the 6th on the Cape League Broadcast Network.
Out of Notre Dame, number 11, Jack.
Top of the 6th inning, Jack Penny leading off for the Firebirds. 2 runs, the difference between YD and Orleans today. 1 for each side in the 2nd. The Red Sox have the last 2. Jason Doktorzik back on the mound. First pitch outside to a 2-for-2 Jack Penny. A single and a double for the left-handed shortstop out of Notre Dame. Slider in for a strike to even the count 1-1.
Doktorzik has retired 7 batters in a row, and his pitch count was climbing up through 3, but just a 10-pitch inning in the 4th has allowed him to come out here for the 5th.
1-1 is lifted up towards left field. Casey Cook drifting over towards the line, and he makes the catch. First out of the inning. First time Jack Penny has been retired today. Base is clear, 1 out for Matt Hallback. The last base runner Jason Doktorzik allowed was in the 3rd inning, and it was when Hallback was intentionally walked. Doktorzik's first pitch gone after towards right. Not much movement from Montgomery. He puts it away. Quickly 2 gone here in the top half of the 6th inning. Just 4 pitches.
Number 24, Eddie Micheletti.
And Doktorzik is through 2 batters. Eddie Micheletti tries to keep the inning going.
Started the day with a walk last time around. He grounded out to second base.
Doktorzik hammers away for strike one. And back into the line, the signature pause as the 0-1 comes in. Clubbed foul, and it's 0-2. YD bullpen still got some guys kind of standing around, but nobody's throwing. If Doktorzik could get through this, not out of the question to maybe see him for a seventh. He's about to throw pitch number 90. 0-2, hit on the ground, and that's a fair ball up the third base side. A long round from first as Micheletti will retreat, but a 2-strike, 2-out single to keep the inning alive for the Firebirds in the top of the sixth.
Micheletti's first hit of the day, second time on first. He's been there with that walk mentioned earlier. Now, second Eddie King has also walked and flown out to right field.
King got a piece of the first pitch, but that's strike one from Doktorzik. There is a catcher out there in the YD bullpen, and I believe that's Pablo Torres that's been kind of standing out there kicking dirt around, but he hasn't been throwing. We have seen Torres once. That was against Wareham, final game of the regular season for the Red Sox. He went 1 inning, gave up 2 hits, 2 runs, walked 3. Red Sox got him out of Bethune-Cookman. Runner bluffs, there's a strike. Running away from King there, and it's 1-2.
Doktorzik has been locating really nicely today. Even when he's missing just around the zone, not in a wild way.
1-2 is line foul. His pitch count was a little inflated through the first couple of innings, but he has been quite efficient through these last few.
96 pitches from the righty out of Nevada.
1-2 inside. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Eddie King. YD has the pull side shift in. Brady Day playing just a tad to the left of the second base bag. 2-2 is popped up. Shallow right. Cook racing after it. Darby dropping back as well. And Brady Day has it off the glove and he dropped it. Day tried to make the basket catch. It hit him in the pocket, but he couldn't squeeze it, and the inning keeps going. Micheletti to third. King safe on first. And that's an E4, the first error of the game from the Red Sox. As now the tying run is aboard for the Firebirds, and an 0-for-2 Brandon Stallman tries to get the offense going.
Really unfortunate and a rare misstep from the second baseman, who has been a wall over there defensively. That one was kind of in no man's land. Day had a long run over towards it. But Orleans has to take advantage here with runners on the corners.
First pitch underneath the zone for ball one. Red Sox really felt like they had a chokehold on this game. Felt like they were going to get out of the sixth inning there and have a chance for more headed into the bottom half. But not out of the woods yet. And a threatening 2-out opportunity for the Firebirds. Pitcher now warming up in the YD bullpen, so this is probably Doc Torzik's last inning, and you could expect that as he's about to throw pitch number 98. Checks on the runner again. One ball and no strikes with runners on the corners. Infield playing straight up. Middle looking for the force at second. Check swing, but that's a strike regardless against Stallman. One and one the count. Stallman has grounded out up the middle to the pitcher and has grounded out into a 6-3 double play today. Doc Torzik with another check. That error by YD, their first of the game. Each team now has one. Another throw over from Doc Torzik. The 1-1 squeezed down low by Stafford. 2 balls and 1 strike now. Doc Torzik out of the stretch. We have not seen King take off for second, although his lead is a bit sizable. 2-1 swung on and missed, strike 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Doc Torzik looking to get through his 6th inning of work. And we'll check on the runner again. Doc Torzik has gone 6 innings once this season. It was a win against Orleans when he did not give up a run in a 5-0 shutout victory on July 24th. Runner goes, 2-2, swung on and missed, strike 3, and that's the inning. Thanks to a 2-out error, Orleans threatens in the 6th, but Jason Doc Torzik keeps them shut down. 3-1 our score, headed to the home half. You're watching YD Baseball on the Cape League Broadcast Network. Jason Doc Torzik pitched out of a jam in the top of the 6th, and the Sox still lead by 2. Bottom half, Hunter Hines leading off in a 3-1 YD lead. Hines takes ball 1. Hunter asks for an appeal, but the third base umpire, Jeff Merzell, says Hines didn't go around. They've got the deep pull side shift in effect with Oyama backed up into shallow right. It worked out for him the last time as Hunter Hines came up with runners on first and second and hit a ball hard to Oyama in right field that he was able to throw him out for. This time he rolls it over foul, and it's 2-1.
Big alliteration going on at the plate right now with Henry Hunter behind it and Hunter Hines on the left side.
Swing and a miss on the 2-1 for strike two. Two is crushed out towards right center field. King going back at the wall. It is gone. Who else but Hunter Hines? Brewster wouldn't pitch to him. Orleans has. And he makes them pay in the bottom of the sixth with his first of the playoffs.
That ball was skied so high and hit so hard. A ball that height almost never gets out of here, especially just to the right of center field, deepest part of the ballpark, no problem. That is major league power. And number 14 for Hunter Hines.
Stafford hits this one up the middle. Nice snag on the flash of leather from Catlett. He'll run it over to the bag and put out Stafford for the first out of the inning. Hunter Hines in the opening series across 3 games in which he started 2 and came on as a pinch hitter for 1. Recorded just 1 at-bat. Brewster would not pitch to him. They intentionally walked him. They pitched around him. He was 0 for 1 in that series with a strikeout. Today he is 1 for 3. And with a signature Hunter Hines hit, a solo homer blasted over the right center field wall. Here's another home run hitter for YD, Brady Day. Takes strike 2. Red Sox now have scored 4 runs, and 3 of them off of solo shots. 0-2 is pushed over towards third. A long reach from Stallman, but he has it and fires a bullet to first to beat out Day for the second out of the inning.
Next up, out of UC Santa Barbara.
Nicely done all around from Stallman, charging it. Didn't let it bounce too many times, and that throw was a dot. But we haven't seen a power day like this, Luke, from YD in a long time.
Darby takes the ball in. Red Sox had 2 homers in that first game against Brewster, but it didn't really feel like anything even close to this. It's been a while since we've seen this much sent over the wall by the Red Sox here at Red Wilson Field.
6 hits, half of them home runs.
(2-0) taken for ball 3. Red Sox had 1 homer yesterday, but YD has not had anyone hit 2 home runs yet in the playoffs. As Darby takes ball 4.
Next up,
4-pitch walk dealt out to Xander. Darby keeps the inning going. 4-1 Red Sox for Casey Cook. 4, 6, 7, and 8 in the YD order, and 9 guys who have hit home runs in this postseason. It's a throwback over towards first, and Darby scampers back. Braden Montgomery in the 3-hole has done it as well. It's been a spread of the wealth in the playoffs for the YD Bats. Casey Cook is 1 for 2. He has singled and scored a run. YD's only run that didn't come across on a homer, that was in the 3rd inning. Grounded out to second in the 4th. 0-1 is golfed foul. No balls, 2 strikes to the UNC Tar Heel, who came in hitting .300 in the playoffs, 3 for 10 with a homer in the first game.
And with that one from Hines now, 6 out of the 9 guys in the starting lineup today from YD have hit a home run this postseason, including the man at the plate.
0-2 is taken upstairs, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Cook reaches for that one and keeps his at bat going on a little slow roller foul. 1-2 the count to Casey Cook. Lineup's officially out for Bourne and Hyannis. They will get going in 15 minutes. In the West Division final. 1-2 to Casey. Spoils another. Theo Hardy is on deck. And for the first time in the playoffs, it's been really an offensive highlight reel for the Red Sox that has mattered. Swing and a miss on the 1-2. Catlett brought it down low and got the chase, and that ends the inning. But Hunter Hines comes through for the Sox with his first home run of the playoffs. And the head to the 7th inning. It's 4-1 YD here on the Cape League Broadcast Network.
New pitcher and a new hitter at the plate. Owen Carpellotti facing Pablo Torres. Carpellotti is coming in for Henry Hunter. Both of them are catchers, so I expect we'll see Carpellotti behind the plate in the upcoming side. But first, it's Pablo Torres, who made 1 appearance versus Wareham in the regular season finale. He starts things off with a first pitch strike. Pull side shift on for Carpellotti. Day in the shallow outfield. 3 to the right side of the bag. Swings and misses that strike 2.
Great day for Jason Doktorczyk. 6 innings, 4 hits, 1 run, 2 walks, and 5 strikeouts. And saved the bullpen also, which is huge, going 6 innings.
A really nice start, and now if Torres can go the last 3, that would be massive for YD's arms. Well, 1 misses just outside. Carpellotti has been here for a long time with Orleans. 29 games played in the regular season. Ball 2 misses just outside. Torres fires, swing and a miss, strike 3. Strong start for Pablo Torres out of the bullpen. There is a little bit of action going on in the YD bullpen, but it's just throwing a football around, not a baseball. The YD bullpen has been loving their football recently. Fresh count for Jake Casey, bottom of the order for the Firebirds in a 4-1 game. First pitch flared out towards left field and foul as it gets out of play. Gavin Bruni sprinting over to grab it. 0-1 to Jake Casey. He batted 171 in 33 games for the Firebirds. In the regular season, ball one misses just low. This is Casey's first appearance in the postseason. He's 0 for 2 today. Did not play in either of Orleans' first 2 games. Jake Casey out of Kent State. Bats left, throws right. Hammers this one foul towards a large crowd of spectators. And the count moves to 2-2.
Red Sox have seen a lot of Casey, but this is his playoff debut. Kelly Nicholson did not have him in the lineup in the first 2 games during the first round. Into the 9-hole where YD's seen him all season today.
Casey has just 1 hit, 2 walks in his 16 plate appearances. Crushes this one out towards right field, and it drops in front of Braden Montgomery. There's hit number 2. That was versus YD all season and gets his first hit of the postseason here at Red Wilson. Joe Oyama hitless as well, 0 for 3. First time facing Pablo Torres. Pull side shift in effect. YD has been shifting on almost every single Orleans hitter. First pitch popped up, shallow right field, left field, heading towards the line. Theo Hardy dove for it. Superman laid out, couldn't get it. It's in foul territory. But what an effort from Hardy. He has been such a spark plug for YD during these playoffs. Hardy was a later season addition, has played every single game since he's gotten here, hit the go-ahead home run yesterday, and has been firing the guys up. That effort is unreal. Comes away fruitless, but it looked a lot more impossible off the bat than Hardy made it look on that diving attempt. Ball one sneaks away from Stafford, bounces off the glove, and Jake Casey advances.
Kick it off.
One and one to Oyama. Hardy now pulled more over towards third to prevent the steal attempt, where he was stationed before. Casey would easily get into third with nobody there. 1-1, swing and a miss on the strike, running inside on Oyama. Joichiro Oyama out of Okinawa, Japan. Plays at UC Irvine with Dub Glebe. Both of them were all Big West second team selections. Oyama was the third baseman there. Glebe was the shortstop. Puts it on the ground under the glove of Day, diving for it. Casey being waved around third, and the throw bounces in, not on target. Jake Casey comes around to score on the RBI single from Joe Oyama. Day hit the deck hard, trying to stop that in the infield. The effort from YD today has been undeniable. Orleans gets another one across their first since the second inning. It's 4-2 with Oyama on first. Torres against Justin Rubin. Rubin hitless today, 0 for 3. Tied up at 6 hits apiece now with YD and Orleans. 1 error for each team as well. The difference has been the extra bases. Orleans has yet to put it out of here today. They came close with Jack Penny, putting it on a line towards the wall. The 1-0 just inside again. 2 balls, no strikes to Justin Rubin. Strike 1 paints the outside corner. The slider. Beautiful breaking movement. Some blue sky starting to peek through above the field. Haven't seen that all day. Here comes the 2-1. Just inside.
The thing with Torres is he's probably not going to get beat by getting hit alone. When he's throwing strikes, he's incredibly effective. It's just been an issue of can he find the zone.
3-1 now with a runner on first, 1 out. Torres nods, fires. Low, ball 4. It was a close one, but as it's been all day, Martinez is keeping that zone minuscule behind the plate. And a few close misses put Justin Rubin aboard on 5 pitches. Jack Penny at the plate, 2 for 3 with a single and a double. Runners on first and second. He represents the go-ahead run.
It looks like Boston Mabius is going to get going in the YD bullpen. He pitched just a couple of days ago, but ready to go again, I guess.
On the ground towards second. Day goes for the lead at second. The force is in time. Jackson doesn't have time to turn it. Rubin is out on the fielder's choice. It was a close play. And there's runners on the corners with 2 gone.
Yeah, I wasn't entirely sure about that decision initially by Day to go to second. It was looking like he might not get the out, but he did. Trusted that arm. It was a good decision by him.
That ball was deceptively slow off the bat. Looked and sounded much harder hit than it ended up being. It actually took a bit of time to get out there today. Fresh count now to Matt Hallback. Runners on the corners. Top of the 7th. First pitch strike, Torres. Pablo Torres was a really solid addition for YD at the end of the season. Out of Bethune-Cookman, he was just the 2nd player in Bethune-Cookman history to be invited to Team USA camp this summer. He didn't make the team, but even the invitation is a huge honor, especially from a school as small as Bethune-Cookman. It sneaks between the legs of Stafford. He gets over to it, but not in time, and Oyama scores from third. All of a sudden, it's a 1-run ball game.
Yeah, just one that he missed low. And Stafford probably wants that one back, but it was a tough one to handle. A very hard thrown ball that clipped up on him, and it is a wild pitch.
The 1-1, this time nicely blocked by Stafford. Penny advanced as well on that, so 1 runner aboard second now with 2 gone. Penny is the tying run. Hallback is 0 for 2 and has been intentionally walked. Eddie Micheletti on deck. Swing and a miss, strike 2. Hallback was chasing that one at the top of the zone. We've seen a lot of that this summer, especially with a runner in scoring position. You get a ball, fastball up top. It keeps your exit angle closer to a line, usually good for a base hit if you can put the barrel to it, but Torres just blows it past him. 2-2, bounces in again, and the count's full. Torres taking signs from Day at second. Pull side shift back for Hallback. Day is just shaded to the right of second, but really pulled far over towards the middle. The payoff on the ground towards third. Diving stop from Hardy across the diamond in time. Theo Hardy, defensive clinic. He has been that guy during the playoffs and stops that tying run from potentially coming across. That definitely would have happened if it snuck through to the outfield. Theo Hardy playing hero once again, and we're headed to the stretch. 4-3 Red Sox. You're watching YD Baseball on the Cape Leaf Broadcast Network. Bottom of the seventh, Theo Hardy leading off. Nice play from him at the end of the top half to retire the side. First pitch on the way. Swings away, strike one. Everett Catlett back out there. Orleans got two back in the top half. Cut YD's lead to just one run. It's 4-3. Hardy chops it up towards third. Stays in foul territory, and we'll do it again. Stallman popped it in the glove and stood there at the foul line waiting for the umpire to officially deem it foul. 0-2 to Hardy. Theo Hardy out of San Jose State. 2023 All-Mountain West first team selection. Floats it foul, and it'll stay at 0-2. Theo Hardy's bio on the San Jose State website. Swing and a miss, strike three. Lists destroying everyone in ping pong in his free time as his favorite hobby.
Out of West Virginia, number 22, Skylar King.
Top of the order for YD with one out. Bottom of the seventh, Skylar King, who's hitless today. 0 for 3. We haven't seen a hitless day from Skylar King since he arrived. He's set in the lefty box and takes ball one, no square to bunt. He has reached base on a fielder's choice. It was an RBI fielder's choice. Pops it up towards the shallow outfield and left. Micheletti was playing in on the corners and has it on the fly for out number 2.
Next up, out of USC, number 6, Ryan Jackson.
Ryan Jackson, 1 for 3, had a single his last time around. He also reached second on a throwing error from Jack Penny earlier this game. It's the one error for Orleans today. Ball one runs in. Ball two. Jackson played his freshman and sophomore years at Nevada and then transferred to Southern California. He's a native of Brentwood, California, so essentially going back home. This time Catlett locates the strike on the inside corner he was looking for. It's 2-1 on Jackson. Strike two, identical pitch. YD trying to avoid going in order here in the 7th. And ball three just outside. Full count to Jackson. Here comes the payoff. Popped up towards center field. Coming in, Eddie King has it. And it's 3 gone quickly for YD. Already headed to the top of the 8th. A slim lead for the Red Sox. It's 4-3 here at Red Wilson Field. You're watching YD Baseball on the Cape League Broadcast Network. Top of the 8th, and a pseudo closer for YD. Boston Mabius has entered the game, and if there is one guy on this team that wants to win this championship the most. It's Boston Mabius. Calls himself B Money. And he said today that B Money was locked and loaded. First pitch on the way, just inside for ball 1 to Eddie Micheletti. Second pitch flared foul, and it's a ball and a strike. Mabius came in 2 days ago at Brewster following Finnegan Wall's 6 2/3 innings of no-hit ball. This one popped up towards foul territory. Hardy over at third easily collects two-handed grab, out number 1.
Next up, out of Louisville, number 14, Eddie King.
Mabius usually sets it up with a couple of off-speed pitches and then blows the fastball in there for the strikeout pitch. Facing Eddie King Jr. First pitch ball runs in, nearly hits him. Straight up infield for Eddie King. And the fastball in there for strike 1.
Rare to see a guy throw 3 innings out of the bullpen and be back in just 2 days.
The 1-1 soft chopper up towards third. It fouled off his foot. Hit him so hard it actually became somewhat of a hit on the ground. Explains why it sounded so much harder off the bat than it looked in the infield. 1-2 now to King. Mabius kicks, fires. Ball 2. Hear groans of strike 3 in the audience. I keep calling it the audience like this is a show instead of the spectators or the crowd. It is a show of sorts in the playoffs. The 2-2. Golfed up towards the shallow outfield, and it drops in front of Braden Montgomery in right. Eddie King was inches away from being rung up and takes advantage of the gift from Martinez behind the plate. Pops it up to no man's land, out in right center, and it's a base hit with 1 out. Fresh count for Brandon Stallman. Leans away from a pitch he thought was coming at him. Instead, the curveball from Mabius, perfectly located. Boston Mabius out of BYU. That one's extremely wild, over the head of Stallman. King advances on the wild pitch.
Yeah, that one just got away from Mabius. He gripped that one pretty well. It had a lot of velocity behind it. And you can see a chuckle from Brandon Stallman at the plate. Knew that throwing behind him wasn't intentional by any means there.
1-1 to Stallman. He's 0 for 3 today. 2 ground outs and a strikeout. Mabius resets. By far the oldest guy on the team. He's 23 years old. That's because before attending BYU, he spent 2 years on a mission in Bolivia for the Church of the Latter-day Saints. 1-2 on that second curveball. Mabius has been all over it on the curveball. Stallman has not seen it coming both times. The pitch, chopped foul First base side will stay at 1-2. Mabius comes from a baseball family. His father played in the majors with the Brewers and works for Perfect Game as a scout. Here comes another 1-2. Misses outside, 2-2. Going into his senior year at BYU. A 6'2", 225 righty. Two flared under the glove of Theo Hardy. Cook to it in time very quickly. But a 2-strike hit for Brandon Stallman. It's his first of the day, goes opposite field, puts it hard on the ground. And there are runners on the corners with 1 out in a 1-run ball game in this series for the East Division. And Orleans has been a comeback team all season, particularly in the playoffs. Game 2, Orleans was facing Harwich. They were down by a number of runs, came back, tied the game, eventually won, giving them the off day yesterday.
Maybe he's going to pitch for a double play ball in this spot. Got to keep that runner over on third.
The infield slightly in for YD. First pitch, bunt is shown. Not a bad move at all to go for the squeeze play. You can wait on that runner at third. If he's going for contact, go for the tag. If not, you could load the bases, trying to hold up that runner. 0-1 now. We'll see if Carpellotti does it again. Mabius fires, no bunt shown, back pick towards third. 1-1 now to Carpellotti. Stallman looks ready to run over at second. Wouldn't be surprised to see Nicholson send him. 1-1, huge cut and a miss on the curveball for strike 2. Ball 2 bounces in, nicely blocked down by Stafford. Things are tense at Red Wilson. It's very quiet here with each new pitch. The 2-2 just bounces in again. Carpellotti thought about it, moved the shoulders, but holds off. Was ready for the breaking curve. And it's a full count. Runners on the corner is 1 out.
Mabius has gone to that low breaking ball twice in a row, and Carpellotti won't bite. See if he elevates a little bit here.
He caught Stallman leaning. I thought that was almost one of those lazier pickoff throws that you just do to work yourself out of an uncomfortable position, but Stallman almost didn't get back in time. Mabius loading now for the payoff, set at the shoulders. The pitch, fastball inside, ball 4. The bases are loaded for Jake Casey. He singled his last at-bat. We'll actually see a pinch hitter now.
Adam JMU, number 13.
And it is Fenwick Trimble. Trimble 0 for 4 through the playoffs so far. This was the very first day we have not seen Trimble in the lineup for YD. Had his first hit against YD the last time these teams faced at the end of the regular season. Force and play now at home. First pitch skies high for ball 1.
Blake Ida warming up now in the YD bullpen. Didn't want to use him in this game, but you will if you have to.
The 1-0 breaks just outside, 2-0. Mabius takes a deep breath before kicking it around on the mound. Trimble out of James Madison University. 2-0, jammed foul towards the backstop, 2-1. The pitch cranked out towards left field. Cook going back. And it's a grand slam from Fenwick Trimble. Orleans takes the lead in commanding fashion. And it's 7-4 Firebirds.
Trimble got ahead in the count there, and he's not going to make a mistake on a pitch like that. Knew he was going to get something good to hit. And in the most threatening situation of the day for the Firebirds, the hardest hit ball we've seen. And now the Red Sox find themselves behind for just the second time in the game.
Tough break for Boston Mabius. He has been so solid up to this point. First pitch bunt is squared from Oyama. Comes in high for ball 1. One and 0 to Oyama. Ball 2. Hardy sneaking in on the corner, is expecting that bunt. Orleans has come storming back into this one. Pickler coming out of the dugout. It looks like that will be the day for Boston Mabius. First time we're seeing a pitcher pulled in the middle of an inning today. It's been just at the breaks. And with Blake Ida warming up in the pen, he's making his way out to the field. We'll step aside for a moment and be back for the last two in the 8th on the Cape League Broadcast Network. 2-0 count for Joe Oyama facing Blake Ida out of Kennesaw State. A breaking ball machine. Kicks and deals first pitch, swing and a miss strike to Oyama. Count moves to 2-1 now. Fenwick Trimble, how about that for clutch? Comes up, bases loaded, pinch hit opportunity, slams it over the wall. Ball 3 in there for Oyama. Orleans, that was their biggest threat of the day, and they collected every last bit. 3-1 just misses outside, ball 4. Brings up Justin Rubin, who's DHing today. 0 for 3 with a walk. 7-4 now. The Firebirds have taken the lead. 1 gone in the 8th. Strike 1 from Ida on the fastball at the bottom of the zone. The sun has come out for the first time today. As ball 1 misses just low. It has been a long 8th inning. Boston Mabius got the first out on the first batter, and since then it's been all Orleans. We talked about Mabius coming into pitch on maybe a bit of a tired arm. He pitched 3 innings just 2 days ago. But he's a guy that has that competitive spirit, wanted to come in, wanted to fight for his team's win. And unfortunately, sometimes things just don't go the way they were planned. Pickoff comes in towards first. One and two's the count to Rubin. Ida, the righty, fires. It's on the ground towards third. Hardy goes for 1 at second, bounced over to first. Rubin runs it out. But Oyama, the lead runner, out on the fielder's choice.
Next up, out of Notre Dame, number 11, Jack Penny.
Brings up Jack Penny with 1 aboard. Two for 4, started out with a single and a dub out. And a double, has a fielder's choice as well that he reached on. And he golfs this one towards right center, bounces in front of Montgomery. Rubin rounding second, heading for third. The throw cut off by Jackson. He thought about going back to first as Penny took a big round. Instead, just pump fakes and holds it, runners on the corners. Jack Penny, a hit machine, continues, 3rd hit of the day.
This inning being as long as it is, you need to get that out. You've got a great part of your order coming up if you're YD. Montgomery, Hines, Stafford due up. This game is far from over, but after the grand slam, that's got to be the limit for Orleans in this inning. You need this out if you're Blake Ida.
First pitch to Halbach, breaks inside, back door, strike 1. Ido is looking over his shoulder out of the corner of his eye at Penny. Throws over there to blow him back. 0-1 to Halbach. 2 outs, top of the 8th. And it's on the ground softly towards first. Nobody covering the bag. The flip from Brady Day gets away. Now the throw to third is not in time, gets away from Hardy. And Orleans adds another one. Hallback just beats the shift. Darby went diving for it. Ida had to sprint to cover the bag. A whole mess of things for YD. Second error of the game. And Orleans opens it up 8-4. Runners on the corners once again for Eddie Micheletti. Ball one misses outside. Pushed foul towards us, and it's 1-1. Micheletti 1 for 3 with a walk. This game was flying by up to this point. YD pitching had kept it well under control, but a 5 spot in the 8th. This one hammered out towards right. Montgomery takes a couple steps, and finally the side is retired, but Orleans does all the damage. A grand slam from Fenwick Trimble, an RBI single from Matt Hallback, and Orleans all of a sudden leads 8-4, heading to the home half of the 8th on the Complete Broadcast Network. Bottom of the 8th, and YD has a lot of work to do. They seemed in control of this game. It was 4-1 heading into the 7th. Orleans since has put up 7 runs. They lead 8-4. And Braden Montgomery puts it on the ground right into the shift, but off the glove of Penny. Second error of the day for Jack Penny. And YD has a very important leadoff man aboard.
Need base runners. That's what you need. It's been a trickle offense for YD up to this point, but they're going to need a flood here in the final 2 innings. And just need a lot of activity, a lot of guys getting on base.
That was ruled a hit. Hines bumps the first pitch foul. An interesting decision that might be changed later, but for now, Montgomery has the hit. Hines is down 0-1. Has 1 home run today. Catlett fires. Strike 2. Montgomery takes the lead. The pitch Just tipped foul off the end of the bat. Hines stays alive at 0-2. Catlett fires. Ball 1, taken at the shoulders. Ryan Stafford in the on-deck circle. The shift is on to the pull side. The 1-2 a mile high in the air towards foul territory. Sprinting over. Hallback has it. And no chance to advance from Montgomery. That's one. Brings up Ryan Stafford. He's 0 for 2 with a walk.
Number 7, Ryan Stafford.
Soft pickoff towards first. First pitch ball flies in outside. Catlett's been in here for a while now. He's gone 3 1/3 innings after coming in relief of Evan Truitt, who pitched a clean 4 innings. The 1-0 pushed foul towards us at the fence, 1-1. Here comes the 1-1. Just outside, ball 2. A little bit of wind gusting here and there, but it's been a quiet day for the most part. 2-1, flared foul out of play. Continues to ride towards the right, and it's 2-2. YD has 4 runs in 4 different innings. They now trail by 4. Stafford puts it up the middle towards Oyama. The flip to second, throw to first in time, and that's the inning. Orleans has been perfectly placed all day on that one. Oyama was pinched towards the middle and had one of the easiest double plays you'll see. Orleans has all the momentum heading their way right now, and we are headed to the top of the 9th on the Cape League Broadcast Network. Top of the ninth, this is it for the first game. Orleans trying to add to an already sizable lead. And YD trying to prevent any further damage so they can make a comeback attempt in the bottom of the ninth. Just 3 outs left to work with for the Red Sox, who led for the majority of this game until the 8th inning. King wraps it foul, and it's a ball and a strike. This is Blake Ida's first appearance of the postseason. During the regular season, he came in 10 games in relief. Forces the swing and miss there for strike 2. Pitched 19 innings with a 3.32 ERA, 17 hits allowed, 10 runs. King on the ground towards short. Jackson off one bounce. The throw scooped by Darby, and that's one gone.
Next up, out of UNC Charlotte, number 8, Brandon Stallman.
Brandon Stallman had a single his last time around. 1 for 4 with a run scored today. Stallman was 2 for 7 coming into today. Now 3 for 11. Skies it towards third. Hardy underneath it. Out number 2.
Next up, out of Georgetown, number 41, Owen Carpellotti.
Owen Carpellotti, a strikeout and a walk today after coming in late in relief of Henry Hunter. 2 gone in the 9th. First pitch on the way from Ida. Ball 1. Owen Carpellotti out of Georgetown. Swings and bumps it foul for strike 2. From Canton, Michigan originally, 6', 210 lefty. A 1-1, slides in. Called ball 2. Man, that looked close. 2-1, popped up towards the shallow outfield. Cook coming in, calls off Hardy, and makes the grab. Hat comes off, out number 3. King grabs Cook's hat for him. It was the 1-2-3 inning YD was hoping for, and they have 3 outs left to make a comeback in the 9th. You're watching YD Baseball on the Cape League Broadcast Network. Bottom of the ninth. What a start to that one. And Dub Gleed is the pinch hitter for Brady Day. Gleed has had a strong start to the postseason. Takes ball one. He's 2 for 8 with 3 walks. His on base percentage hovering at .450. And ball 2 drops low. The infield is playing straight up. Everett Catlett out to finish the game. And Gleed pops it up right over the head of Jack Penny into left field. Base hit to start things off in the ninth. A bloop shot, but that's all you need to get it done. Single for Dub Gleed.
Next up,
Move down the line.
number 12.
It's going to take a village here from this YD Red Sox batting order, but that's a start.
Xander Darby up in the left box has hit a home run today. 1 for 2 with that home run and a walk. Pickoff coming in towards first. First pitch to Darby. On the ground towards second. Oyama has won the spin and throw in time. I thought Darby might have had that one beat, but he grounds into a double play, and just like that, the leadoff erased, and there is 1 out left in the ball game.
Next up, out of UNC Chapel Hill, number 16, Casey Cook.
Oyama, a wall at second, and Jack Penny doing his job on the back end to dime over to first to get Darby in the nick of time. First pitch ball dealt to Casey Cook. But with 2 outs now in the ninth, things are looking grim for the Red Sox. Cook pops it up towards foul territory. Left side, Stallman over on it. Out number 3. A comeback from Orleans in the 8th inning. They put up 5 and never looked back after that. YD had the offense going at the beginning but did not score after the 6th inning and get that run support. They fall 8-4 in the first of the East Division final.
That's a tough one for the Sox, but no time to think about it. You got to rebound, and for the second straight series, it's going to require a reverse sweep in 3 games if the Red Sox want to get through to the next round.
Orleans has been a comeback team all season, particularly at the end of the regular season and into the postseason. It's a team that never gives up. Kelly Nicholson making the decision to pinch hit Fenwick Turnbull at the moment with the bases loaded, goes for a grand slam, and that just shut the door on the Red Sox. A tough way to lose game 1 of the finals, and we'll be on the road tomorrow at Orleans. Game start time 6:30 p.m. It's been Perri, Kitei, and Luke West Poley. As always, thank you for listening. We'll be back tomorrow. Final score in this one, 8-4 Firebirds.